Hello and welcome back to more talking about My Little Pony. Nobody asked for it, but I am only making these videos for myself, and um, if you happen to watch them, then that's your problem, not mine. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about My Little Pony merch. I have been in the Brony fandom for a really long time, and I have collected many types of merch over the years, um, and I've gotten rid of a lot of it just for space reasons. Like you can kind of see them back there, but I've got a couple of Fluttershy plushes. There's one up there too, but I sort of have limited the amount of stuff I've collected because Hasbro has released so much crap over the years. But there are some things that I swear I'm like desperately looking for, and there are other things that I just have to talk about. Like I'm like, the fact that this exists is like why does this exist, you know? Um but I thought I'd start off by showing a couple pieces of merchandise that I do own. Um I've got a couple of the pops. she kind of she is the light is like making her glow. I guess that's okay. She's like a little baby. I don't know. I mean, I'm not particularly partial to Funkos. In fact, especially because now they have like NFTs and stuff. Um, I really don't like them. But I got her for $1 at a comic book shop, and I mean, you know, she's kind of dusty. She just kind of sits on my desk, and she's like moral support, you know. Um, Another thing that I have is this little like trinket drawer, and I did get this in like a 4-pack set of them. They're really cute. I keep like paper clips and stuff. This one's just like empty, but I don't know. I'm a victim to overconsumption, as many of us are, unfortunately. And then this. Now, this is a relic. So on 4chan, there is a board that has banded together to create mass-produced pony plushes, and I won't link it because I'm not particularly comfortable linking 4chan on YouTube, but this is Twiggles, and she's technically a fan character, and she's excellent quality. She's made by Ollie Factory, which, if you know anything, Ollie Factory does have like a very vast and oddly diverse line of pony plushes. And so she was custom made via specifications of several really awesome, talented people that I don't want to oversing praises, but I really think that they're doing an awesome thing over there. So I'm happy to have her in my hands. She's adorable. I can soak her in milk and throw her at the wall, which I think is like my favorite part. I do that pretty often, actually. She really likes being soaked in milk and thrown at the wall. So, okay. So now I've sort of talked about a couple things I own. That's not everything I own. Those were just like kind of some pieces that I had laying around kind of casually. When people come over, I used to be really like nervous about it, and I actually hid like all of my pony stuff in my like room. But now like I just have random merch laying out and about because it's like, you know, if you don't fuck with ponies, like I don't know. I don't know if we can be friends, you know? So, Hasbro has worked with a myriad of companies to produce all different kinds of merch. I'm sure that you've seen it before, but there is some like really odd stuff out there. I mean, there's like the normal stuff, you know, like pins and jewelry, and kind of when you think about it in the context of it being a kids show, it's like, yeah, of course there's going to be like little kids merchandise and like toys and stuff. Some of my favorite lines of sort of like non children aimed, like kind of more like a mid-range adult collector, are these like enamel pins. Really odd like, I don't really understand what's going on with the Fluttershy Bumblebee one. Um, don't know why they chose to do the Simple Ways rarity instead of just like a regular one. On the other hand, I'm a big fan of the Princess Luna. The coloring is a bit odd, but it looks really good. And honestly, I would love to own any of these. I mean, DJ Pony and Derpy, like that, literally like fandom staples. Super cool. Another thing that came to my attention when I started initially researching content for this video was actually the fact that the company Good Smile appears to have collaborated with Hasbro, and they are releasing an Nendoroid of Twilight Sparkle. And I'm really hoping that that means that we're going to get the full line of characters, and heck, we might even get a Spike, which would be really interesting. I think after the Kodobukaya statue releases, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see like another wave of like G4 merchandise that's aimed towards adult collectors. I own Celestia and Luna from that line, as well as the Fluttershy, of course, and I really like them. The limited edition ones are a little bit uncanny with the like Equestria girls' skin tones, but I can't say that I don't like them, and of course at this point I'll take whatever they want to give us, you know. I'm a thirsty little flower, and that merchandise is basically the only thing keeping me alive. So, on the topic of items for adult collectors, I just want to say that I also love the Magic the Gathering collaboration cards. I don't own any of them. I missed out on it completely because I was a huge brokey when it came out. But I do like looking at them and wishing that I had them. The art is kind of odd. It isn't bad. It just kind of looks like it was drawn by someone who was tasked with, like, trying to fit the ponies into a more Magic art style, I guess. I don't know. I almost wish that they had kind of just stuck with, like, maybe the movie art style, where it's got that detail, but it's not that, like, uncanny valley hyperrealism. But let me know what you think. Now, in the category of sort of, like, nerdy collector's items, maybe kind of adult, teen sort of things, I just have to talk about some of the tech that came out. Now, when I was younger, I actually had this when I was a kid, and before they removed audio jacks from phones, it was a lot more common for people to have these, like, just cheap little, like, USB, like, audio speakers, and this Pinkie Pie one was so funny because I distinctly remember that the audio quality was bad. Like, I will have to see if I can dig her out and maybe, like, record somehow, like, a sample of what it sounds like, but it's not good. I think she was, like, $15 or something. I think I picked her up at Toys R Us. And she, I don't know. It's not Bose, that's for sure. Another piece of, like, odd niche tech that they had were these USB sticks that I swear to God are the fuggliest things on the planet. But, again, I want all of them. Like, give them to me. I will store my entire Brony music collection, all 12 gigabytes of it. I will store all of it on them. Like, imagine pulling up to the club and getting out the, like, derpy USB and being like, play this. Honorable mention, it's a little bit cuter, but this Pinkie Pie USB stick, it's 8 gigabytes, which isn't anything impressive, but it would be a really good daily carry, especially given that it has a keychain attached to it. I would love to have her. It's time for a speed round. Before I get into my next topic, I want to talk about, really quick, just, like, the dumpster fire that is Spike merchandise. Like, if you are a fan of Spike, you're SOL. Because the merch sucks. It is not good. Um, let's let's just run through them. I don't even have any words for most of these. They're not good. It's not good. So, something that they seem to really struggle with is the eyes. They kind of just end up wherever on his face. It's very unfortunate. Also, if he's not on all fours like he was in the initial run, then he's standing there usually like with one arm out, like just pointing at nothing. I don't know what to say about this. It's just kind of strange. Again, like, the materials also, I mean, I know these are kids' toys that I'm criticizing, but he's always, like, out of all of them, like, really shiny and, like, rubbery. What is he looking at? That's kind of scary. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say about this. I don't know. Like, okay, this one, they were trying, I mean, like, he's not horrible. This was from that, like, what is it called, like, Cutie Mark surprise line, and it had, like, confetti in the box. I mean, this one's not as egregious, but he's just, it's like kind of like you just got told that, like, your parents are getting divorced and you're just standing there. I think this one's eyes are supposed to, like, spin so that he has, like, multiple expressions, but instead he just kind of looks like that weird, like, Momo bird thing. I don't know, I don't like him. And then, of course, finally this, like, Funko Pop. Now, this thing has been living rent-free in my head. It's not even that bad, but what's funny about it is that for some reason, they just have him standing there, like, I don't know what they were, like, I don't know what they were going for. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what this pose is. But it's awesome. I mean, great, sure, fuck it, yeah. Send it to the shelves. Let's go. So, yeah. Lots of very unfortunate Spike merchandise. Don't know what's up with that. So for my next topic, I kind of just want to talk about, like, stuff that just tickles me. Like, I don't know. This whole video is just that, but, like, I just want to talk about, like, merchandise that exists. And, like, once you know it exists, you're like... And you just have to, like, contend with that, Like, you just have to live with that knowledge, and you're just stuck with it. First off, everybody's talked about this Twilight Sparkle that Target sold. I actually have her. She's chilling in my bedroom. She hangs out in the corner. She's, like, definitely certified haunted. I don't dare speak around her because she might send me to the Shadow Realm. So, these backpacks, I have the Derpy Hooves one. They're kind of cute, but mostly they're just, like, really ugly, and you cannot fit anything in them. So, like, don't have anything important on you, or make sure you have pockets, I guess. On the topic of children's merchandise, I've got a couple that are just, like, baffling. Why do they have wheels? They already had legs. I don't know why the wheels, but I do know that the art on the tags is actually fucking adorable. It's really cute, and I wish that these toys actually just looked like that, because it would probably haunt me a lot less. These things, they're called Weebles. They're for, like, toddlers, I guess. I don't know. They kind of seem like a cat toy. I don't really understand the purpose. I just thought I'd bring them up because, one, I like that the cutie marks are, like, just slapped in the middle of their chests. And two, I like how their hooves are, like, resting on their weird, deformed bodies. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I like that these are, like, clearly, like, custom, unique sculpts, but they're still really strange and off-putting. These are made by Takara Tomy. I hope I'm saying that right. I know that Tomy makes a lot of, like, Pokemon figures and, like, kids figures and toys, so my expectations aren't super high, but I just can't help but feel that these are kind of an affront to God. Applejack is just kind of like, please kill me. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Rainbow Dash kind of just like looks constipated, like really, really constipated. They're like buildable vinyl figures, I believe, so that's why the seams are kind of odd. I don't really know. I've never seen these for sale before, so. Just a side note, I am recording this on New Year's, and there are fireworks going off, so if you can hear that, I'm super sorry. Not the best time for me to be recording now that I think about it, but I know I already touched on the Twilight Sparkle plush, but I just have to show off this Pinkie Pie. I swear this image haunts my dreams. I've seen it everywhere. No, I don't know why her face is like that. I think it's crazy because they clearly put a decent amount of effort into making sure that her hair looks correct, and then like the eye decal's good, and the body's a bit wonky, but then I don't know what happened to the head. Also, I talked about backpacks earlier. These are not from the same line of backpacks, but I like that they decided that they wanted a more backpack-shaped backpack, but it still had to kind of be a horse. Like, they were like, okay, well, it needs, like, hooves and wings and hair, but it's a backpack. Now, I know I'm kind of going back and forth. I've talked about kids' merchandise, I've talked about kind of more adult collectors' merchandise, and this is more on that other realm. These are called, I think, Cara bricks? Like, kind of like character bricks. And I actually really like these. I don't fully understand the purpose, and I also don't know why they're, like, labeled 16+, because I really don't think there's any way that a child could even really injure themselves with this. As far as I understand, they're literally just like vinyl figures. And I do think they're really cool for the amount of detail, and I do like that they're like kind of 3D and stackable. I've always wanted them just so I can like line them up on the wall, but they're a little bit hard to find. But something else that I noticed that was a little bit odd was that they released blank versions for some reason. I guess you could maybe paint them yourself. Another line with a lot of detail that I really liked were these Diamond Select brand banks. And it's kind of odd because some of them are really great, and then some of them are like super mid, and I don't really understand it. This DJ Pwn 3 one is like awesome, and I have never seen it before. The first time I saw it was literally when I went to look up the Fluttershy one, which I actually own, and I thought she was good until I saw DJ Pwn 3. I'm like blown away by this sculpt. It looks awesome. The colors are great. I mean, like, she's my favorite background character by far, and if I could own this, I would sell my soul. The Tsunamis keychains came out, and they were at like Hot Topic and Five Below, and I think even Spencer's. And of course, I did end up actually picking up a Fluttershy one because I thought it was super cute. And I never really put it on anything. I used to have a large display of Fluttershy items before I kind of limited the amount of stuff that I was collecting as far as MLP merch goes, and so I actually just had it sitting on a shelf. But one day I went to dust the shelf and I noticed that there was this weird oily residue all over it. And then when I picked up the keychain, I noticed it was empty. Well, it turns out that the keychain I had purchased was somehow defective, and it leaked all over. And if you're not familiar, what's inside those keychains is not actually water, it's oil. So all of the oil had sunk into my shelf and made a huge mess. So at least for the foreseeable future, I don't think I'll be picking up any more of these keychains because they aren't particularly high quality, and at least from what I've seen, they're likely to be either fragile or defective. Now, this is sort of like in the vein of a child kind of toy. It's not really for collectors, it's not super high quality, but I do think these are really unique, and I actually had a couple of these sets because they were just kind of fun to fidget with. They're designer ponies, and they come with like different accessories. You can put different hair on them. They come with stickers. But what I thought was interesting is that they actually come in a frame that you have to snip them out of. So even though they're kind of aimed at kids, there is this sort of like older kid kind of crafty element to it. And in general, it's just fun because you can make whatever you want with them. They're not super fragile and they weren't super expensive either. So for like a fun toy with a medium amount of involvement in them, I mean, I don't know. I liked the concept. Now, this is kind of an odd one, but as I was doing research for this video, I noticed that there were a lot of these kind of odd, not particularly high quality figures, but they were like one off with unique molds, and they were often packaged with like chapsticks. And I was just kind of enamored with this tin. I really like this vector art of Vinyl Scratch and Rainbow Dash that's just like plastered on the tin. I like this really odd moon-shaped like cutout. I don't know. It's just something that I would have been delighted to receive when I was younger. And then the figure inside is also kind of neat. It's that like blacklight Rainbow Dash, very similar to like one of Funko's like, you know, those blackout pops that were really cool. So for the very last part of the video, because I do want to wrap this up, I can only say so much about colorful horses at a time, and unfortunately this one's running a bit long. I just want to talk about my number one most sought after piece of merchandise, and it's really weird. So I have been looking for this forever. It was actually a release, and I want to say it came out in like the UK. There are similar sets. If you look at the Rarities Carousel Boutique set, it actually comes with these. But I am in love with these ponykins, which I think is what she calls them. They're pony mannequins. If you don't know, I went to college for costume design. I sew, I create clothes. And so I've always really liked Rarity's kind of like character in general, you know. She makes clothes, she designs fashion. That's really neat. But when I found out that there were little, like, toy versions of her ponykins, I was obsessed. Now, you can see this one actually is a little kit that comes with fabric, ribbons, rhinestones, and you can, like, make your own little thing, and again, I love that. I think it's adorable. If I could get this whole thing mint on the back card, I would literally hang it up and display it. But even if I could just get my hands on one of these little ponykins, I would be so happy. I literally think they're adorable. And I don't know, like, they just live rent-free in my head. So, I guess that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about some MLP merchandise. This isn't the last Brony video I'll probably end up making. As you can tell, I'm very much in love with the Brony fandom, and it's left a large impression on me. So, if you have any merchandise that you want to talk about, drop a comment down below. Let me know, like, which one of these was, like, the ugliest or something, you know. And, normally I wouldn't say this, but if you're seeing this, go ahead and subscribe, you know. Don't be a stranger. It doesn't cost you anything, and it would mean a lot to me. I'd like to, moving forward in 2026, continue to publish video content, and whenever anyone leaves a like or a comment, it means so much to me, because it means that, like, someone out there, like, watched it and was like, hey, this doesn't suck. So, that's it, really. I'm gonna wrap this up. Have a great day wherever you are, and Happy New Year. As I'm filming this, it's 2026 now, so let's make it a good one, I guess. Bye. She's so big and full of milk.